Hey everybody, thank you so much for signing up for life groups this year. We know you didn't know what to expect when you walked in for the first time, who would be in your group and what to expect. We are going to be spending the next 10 weeks looking at the book of James. And the book of James is really one of my favorite books because it really talks about putting our faith into action. And that is exactly what we'll be talking about, putting faith to work. And so we'll be talking about how do we work out our faith in everyday life. You know, as I was growing up, I had a dad who had a phrase. He would always tell me, just work it out, figure it out. And so taking that approach on things helped me, one, to get better at how to figure out and how to do things on my own. But a lot of times working it out was really difficult, and it took some time. The good thing about having faith is it doesn't require us to have everything worked out from the get-go. We get to work out our faith as we go. And the good thing, and my dad would tell me to go figure it out and go do it, but God comes alongside of us and helps us to figure it out. We have an incredible example as we look at Jesus' life and his ministry. To follow his example, we also have the scriptures. We have a play-by-play book of how to work out our faith. And the really important thing is we've been entrusted with the Holy Spirit, who is the helper, who helps us when we come across trials and we come through things. God is right there with us, helping us work it out. Now, as a father, I had somewhat of a work it out on your own approach with my kids. And I like them to try to work it out, but I would also come alongside them and help them figure out how to work it out. My daughter, when she was in college, she got a great internship with a church in California. And as she got this internship, we found out that it required for her to have a vehicle, transportation, to get back and forth to the church and to take students from place to place. Well, this was going to be difficult because that meant getting her Honda Civic from South Carolina to California. Now, she didn't think it was a problem. She had it all figured out already. She would just drive. Well, that wasn't quite that easy. And then her younger sister said, hey, this would be an awesome opportunity for us to just bond as sisters and take a road trip together. So as a dad, as I was thinking through all this, I said, well, we got to figure out first. We got to work this out. So what we did is we mapped out their whole entire trip, taking increments that they could drive in portions and finding people along the way that they could stay with in their travels. And even though this helped us work out some of the details as a dad, I wanted to be sure that they were going to be okay on those roads. So I told them before they ever could do this that they had to be able to change a tire. Now, I didn't just send them out to the driveway and tell them, hey, go work it out, go change a tire. I went out with them. I took off the tire, took the tire out of the trunk, jacked up the car, and we did it several times. I just showed them how to do it. And then I let them do it. You know, for me, it was really easy. I've changed way too many tires probably in my life, but for them, doing it the first time, it was hard. And we understand, even as we work out our faith, we need a solid foundation for it. And as we work it out, hey, it takes time. It takes putting stuff into practice. Well, eventually, the girls were able to change a flat tire. And this helped their dad have a little bit of a calmer spirit about them traveling such a long distance on the road together. Now, they never had to change the tire, but it was a good skill for them to learn. As we learn these skills, it's not just about having faith. It's about what we do with our faith and how we work it out. As you can see, we are in what's called Merchant Ironworks. And right here in this plant, they take large beams of steel and they manufacture it to go into structures that support things like the Amazon Center and all sorts of things all over the world that this steel goes to. But when it comes in, these long beams have no shape. They have to be cut to just the right size. They have to be formed. They have to be welded. They have to be really, really designed in such a way that they can hold up a large structure. Now, this is important because the integrity of the structure is at risk by these steel beams. If a cut's made wrong or not in the right place, the whole thing doesn't work, and the whole structure is at risk. When we think about working out our faith and we look at it as we go through this series, there's a lot of factors involved with that we need to take into consideration. How is our integrity? Are we just saying what we believe, or are we actually putting it into practice? And this is really important, not just for us, but for the people around us. What does our children and our wives or our husbands think about the way that we're living our life? Are we actually living out our faith, or are we just saying empty words? As we begin, as we think about this, I'd love for you to just think about some of the people in your lives that are watching how you live. How are you living out your faith? One of the sad things that I hear from the students as I did student ministry is, I grew up in a home and we went to church, but we never really talked about God, or we never really lived it out in our home. And this gives them a really hard understanding of what it is to truly have a foundation and a structure based on God. So as we think about this, as we work through this together, I want you to commit to your group. One, that you're going to be accountable to each other, to hold each other firm as we go through this study. Two, to be on time and to be part of the group. It's one thing just to show up, but take part in the discussions. Take time in discussing what you're learning. Also, hey, you know what? If you're not there, you're not there. So we want you to be there. Make sure you make adjustments to your schedule to make sure that this is a priority for you. In James 2:14, he says it like this: brothers and sisters, what good is your faith if it has no actions? Also in James 2, we see faith without works is dead. Let's not have that kind of faith. Let's have faith that has works. So all those around us can see what God's doing. Hey, I'm glad we're getting to journey on this journey together. For the next 10 weeks, make sure you make a commitment in your group. Spend some time as you go through the discussions tonight, just talking about maybe some of the things that you hope to get out of this group. Hey, we love you. Have a great group. God bless.